Work smart, work safe. That's the mantra as the country enters the new normal in a full reopening of industries. The work from home order expired on Sunday, but going forward, persons are required to act responsibly and follow the workplace protocols implemented to protect employers, employees, and customers from COVID-19. Workplaces must establish policies and practices for social distancing. For detailed instructions on the COVID-19 response workplace protocols, visit the Ministry of Health and Wellness's website at moh.gov.jm. This is Jamaica Magazine, the show with the information you need to know. I'm Theodore Henry. Stay with us. It's June. That means the hurricane season has started. We have no control over how many storms we may face during the period, but we can prepare to minimize the individual risks at home and on our families. Make sure you stock up on at least 2 weeks' supply of food and emergency supplies like candles and medicines. Next, what the government is doing to safeguard the country's natural and human resources.
We have already started to see activity from the 2020 hurricane season, albeit that the official start of the season is the first day of June, and the season continues for 6 months until the 30th day of November. We have already seen Tropical Storm Arthur develop, starting on May 15. And now on May 26, we have seen Tropical Storm Bertha also developing in close proximity in terms of the area in which the development has taken place.
Protecting our most vulnerable remains the priority of the government for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, and the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, with portfolio responsibility for disaster risk management, must continue to engage and ensure all necessary measures are taken. I am directing all entities to ensure their continued heightened readiness and preparedness actions following the guidance of the Ministry of Health and Wellness and OPM. The National Emergency Operations Center will continue its coordination role to facilitate a whole-of-government approach, including our private sector and NGO partners. Each parish emergency operations center, ministry and agency emergency operations center is directed to activate 24 hours in advance of a pending storm or hurricane and coordinate activities with the OPM or the National Emergency Operating Center.
There's a 60% chance that this season will be an above normal season. There is a 30% chance that it will be a normal season, and only 10% likelihood that we will have a season that is below normal levels of activity. And there's a 70% confidence in this forecast based on how situations have been developing, how climatic conditions have been developing over the waters. So we are pretty well assured that it will be an active season. Whether or not it will be an active season in relation to Jamaica's experience is yet to be seen.
An advanced state of preparedness that has been taking place over the last couple of weeks. Prime Minister and colleagues, I just want to clear the air as it relates to the functions of the National Disaster Committee concerns have been raised about the effectiveness of the committee and whether or not the committee is working. The committee is in fact working. The committee have been meeting, and the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, OPM, has been a source of strength and support on the ground, working with the Ministry of Health during this crisis. I want to make the point that there is no playbook that has been prepared that speaks to how we respond to the coronavirus. This is a new dispensation for the country.
The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management is the agency of government responsible for coordinating all aspects of disasters from a multi-sectoral approach to disaster risk management and emergencies, activities which also include response to health-related emergencies such as COVID-19. The agency continues to take the necessary steps in fulfilling its mandate to lead, promote, and foster change in the culture and attitude toward disaster risk reduction. With the advent of coronavirus, COVID-19, preparation this season has taken on added significance. The protocol for the season will include measures around mitigation, preparedness, and response amidst COVID-19. Some critical areas are shelter management, testing the national response coordination systems for multiple disasters, which is a possibility that can happen this season, given that we're in the midst of COVID-19 and we're entering the hurricane season, and multiple recovery planning process. The recovery process will also include initial damage assessment around geospatial technology. And geospatial technology has been used extensively during our COVID-19 response. In closing, recognizing that the country is in the middle of a pandemic response, the OPM stands ready to prepare the country for any eventuality that may face us during the upcoming hurricane season. The agency will continue to lead the process of preparing Jamaica and will continue to do this through enhanced partnerships with agencies of government, the private sector, NGOs, and our communities, all working together to build a culture of preparedness, remembering that disaster happen, be prepared.
We are not lagging behind the rest of the world. We have the reception of the kind of satellite imagery, the connections with the various agencies and the other meteorological services, the data banks and the coordination centers. We have access to all these, and so we are pretty much kept up to date with what is happening globally. There is direct communication with the National Hurricane Center, and I mention that because the National Hurricane Center of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the United States operates as the regional specialized meteorological center for the Caribbean region.
The Jamaica Fire Brigade's primary role in the event of an hurricane is rescue and fire management during the outbreak of a pandemic. It's against this background that we would have reviewed and adjusted our existing plans to include our continuity of operation plan to account for the realities and risk of COVID-19. Jamaica Fire Brigade primary roles and responsibility includes fire management, search and rescue, to include urban search and rescue, water rescue, vehicle extrication, and collapse structure rescue. We are also responsible for rendering pre-hospital emergency care. We are also tasked with the responsibility of assisting with the transportation of members of the public to medical facilities or shelters. The Fire Brigade will also assist with the clearing of roadways, as well as all fire stations are equipped with at least one fully functioning fire unit. These fire units are equipped with chainsaw, inflatable rafts, which would become handy in conducting water rescue, flotation devices, hydraulic tools, submersible pumps, generators, and folding cots. Jamaica Fire Brigade also operates an emergency medical services.
Protecting our most vulnerable remains the priority of the government for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, and the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, with portfolio responsibility for disaster risk management, must continue to engage and ensure all necessary measures are taken. I am directing all entities to ensure their continued heightened readiness and preparedness actions following the guidance of the Ministry of Health and Wellness and OPM. The National Emergency Operations Center will continue its coordination role to facilitate a whole-of-government approach, including our private sector and NGO partners. Each parish emergency operations center, ministry and agency emergency operations center is directed to activate 24 hours in advance of a pending storm or hurricane and coordinate activities with the OPM or the National Emergency Operating Center.
Parents, how do you think your children feel when they are beaten?
I feel so sad when my mother beats me.
It makes me feel so angry.
I feel embarrassed, and I feel like you just don't care.
It has been proven that coercive parenting is directly linked to the aggression your children are displaying in schools. The National Parenting Support Commission is imploring you, parents, rethink your actions. Stop beating your children.
A message from the National Parenting Support Commission in collaboration with Ministry of Education, Youth and Information for improved safety and security in schools.
Senior citizens in the cohort 60 years and older represent the fastest growing demographic segment of the society, as more people are living longer. This changing dynamic has prompted the government to ensure improvements in the level of responsiveness to new expectations and needs of our seniors. The need for quality healthcare is top of the list. One aspect of quality healthcare service is the prompt access to affordable medication. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness, through the National Health Fund (NHF), has been leading the government's charge in providing critical supplies of medication at subsidized costs to persons in need. That includes seniors. The NHF has been improving its service by employing ingenious means of delivering medication and reducing waiting times and overcrowding at prescription outlets.
We are using a number of services in order to make it easier for our customers. We have the Prescript mobile app. We have a drop-off and pick-up service. We have scheduled refill for persons who come to the pharmacy frequently with the same medication. And we have a number of other initiatives in which we contact clients to work out easy ways for them to receive their medication.
A home delivery service for drug-served patients 65 years and older is the NHF's latest addition to its offerings. This emerged as a response to the coronavirus pandemic.
As most people know, the NHF is a customer-centric organization, and with COVID-19 we actually looked at different ways of better serving our customers. Medication delivery is an idea that we have had under active discussion for a number of years, and we found that this was an opportune time to implement this service.
This new service is available to drug-served patients on the NHF's scheduled refill program who have monthly appointments to pick up their medication at a drug-served pharmacy.
So for these patients, we give them 2 months supply of medications, basically And the feedback is just excellent. It's really great. But when you look at how grateful they are, because some of them they can't walk, some of them they're disabled in terms of hearing and so on. So when you can come to them to actually give them their medications, it's really heart-touching, basically. So that they're very grateful. They say it all the time, and they are loving the service as it is now.
This was started in St. Thomas, and we've expanded into Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as in St. Catherine. And other parishes have now started, St. James and other parishes. And the intent is to have this program island-wide.
The NHF's home delivery service is set to benefit approximately 30,000 beneficiaries over 65 years of age, as well as other vulnerable groups that the fund believes can benefit from medication delivery.
We just received a call, asked if we would want it to be delivered, and we readily accepted it. The wait can be very long. I know they try to cut back sometimes by using the scheduled thing, but even then you have to go, and sometimes they wait up to an hour. So this is just ideal.
Patients may want to check out the NHF's online avenues such as web chat to indicate their need for delivery service. Persons can text their name and their drugstore pharmacy to 876-219-9937 or 876-219-9929. They can also call the NHF at 876-906-1106 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekdays.
I take the opportunity to commend our pharmacists, our pharmacy technicians, and all the team who facilitated this.
This is a good service now. They say you must stay at home. And this service that you come and present, a wonderful service.
We are loving the service. We really appreciate it, and we wish it would continue.
Customers need not worry about having a National Health Fund NHF card or a Jamaica Drug for the Elderly JADEP card. The service will still be offered.
But at this time, when we come and realize that, oh, probably you don't have a card, what we can do is give you the steps as to how to get the cards. And in order to access the cards, it's a same-day printing at any of our drugstore locations that are named for that service.
The NHF, reaching out, helping to make Jamaica the place of choice to live in good health.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Jamaica's borders will reopen to non-nationals on June 15. The process to reopening the tourism sector has involved discussions with a number of stakeholders. We now take a look at the policies guiding that process.
We depend heavily on tourism. Tourism is our number one foreign exchange earner, accounting for over 50% of the foreign exchange that we earn. So we have to start planning from now for the reopening and recovery of the industry.
I remain optimistic. Tourism is a resilient sector which can bounce back from disaster a lot easier than many other economic sectors. The COVID-19 Tourism Recovery Task Force was formed to bring together some of Jamaica's best minds to marshal a recovery plan for our tourism industry, which has been hard hit by the pandemic. So, what strides have we made in the recovery process to date? We are being guided by a 5-point recovery strategy. 1, robust protocols that will withstand local and international scrutiny, which are being formulated now by the Tourism Development Company in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness and PricewaterhouseCoopers. Training for all sectors to manage protocol and new behavior patterns is the second leg of this strategy. The third is to build strategies around COVID security infrastructure, and that's the PPE, such as masks and infrared machines and all other types of equipment that are emerging as the innovation drives our technological responses to the need for COVID security. Communications with the local and international markets. And this is a very important part of our considerations. And already we are on a number of international circuits talking about Jamaica's preparedness and our readiness. A staggering approach also we're looking at in terms of the reopening. So that's the fifth pillar, is that we do not see reopening as being a one-shot activity that immediately everywhere will be open. We're looking also at how to work with Ministry of Health in all aspects of ensuring that testing and tracing as a key part of their responsibilities is enhanced within the tourism sector. How social distance is going to now comport with Jamaica's tradition of sun, sea and sun and a lot of fun. And I made the point that the creativity that has already been expressed by a number of our partners is showing how these social distances can be achieved on our beaches. A new configuration will emerge on our beaches, the way we even arrange furnishings on the beaches to accommodate our swimmers and so on. And then how we treat with pools and we function within that. And then of course there's a question of how do we deal with dining and other social facilities and activities within the hotel. So all of those protocols are being worked out. Already the hotels are coming up with protocols that are probably more vigorous and more bullish than even we are thinking. The matter of public education and communication. We're going to be embarking on a major program there to ensure that the communities understand what the new tourism is going to be looking like and what working with COVID and then in the long run post-COVID tourism is going to be like. The working group for this will be chaired by Wilfred Bagaloo of Pricewaterhouse, and he will have a technical subcommittee that will be holding extensive consultations with tourism stakeholders, including the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, to discuss recommended timelines for reopening and protocols to be implemented within the tourism entities. This is an industry that is responsible for 9.5% of Jamaica's GDP, and it employs 170,000 people directly, while indirectly impacting at least another 150. Tourism is indeed lifeblood of Jamaica. And for economic recovery to happen, tourism must recover. We are using the term COVID resilience as being the overall guiding philosophy of our efforts. We are going to become a COVID resilient destination.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
Proper disposal of garbage is extremely critical to lessening the spread of viruses. The National Solid Waste Management Authority is requesting your help to keep Jamaica clean. Watch this.
Solid waste management is a critical component of curtailing local transmission of COVID-19. As householders strive to keep their homes and frequently used surfaces clean, domestic garbage collection is now even more important. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, has called on citizens to partner with the agency in taking all measures possible to contain the spread of this virus. The recommended actions to support the sanitation crews are securing household garbage by properly bagging, tying, and placing in a container for collection, double bagging garbage containing tissue, gloves, face masks, and diapers, placing storage receptacles at the front of the premises where they can be accessed without hindrance 24 hours per day. Persons with uncollected garbage are also encouraged to contact the agency through the following media. Call toll-free at 888-CLEAN-JA, that's 888-253-2652, or WhatsApp 876-448-3220, or email nswma@nswma.gov.jm. Visit the agency's website www.nswma.gov.jm and reach out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The NSWMA continues to work closely with the Ministries of Local Government and Health to ensure the welfare of employees and the citizens of Jamaica.
You have reached the final page of the magazine. Thanks much for being with us on today's journey. Another Jamaica Magazine unfolds tomorrow, so come back same time on this same station. Until then, click on our social media pages for more informative features. While there, please subscribe to our pages and channels so you can stay in the know. I'm Theodore Henry, encouraging you to stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.